Hi, I'm Scott. I'm a Quiet Place fan.
Hi, I'm Senthil, and I'm a Bird Box fan.
So the two of us have decided, since we disagree, we're going to start watching as many horror movies as we can and come up with a new way of rate them. Come join us.
Hey, Senthil, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Scott. What movie are we going to talk about today?
Senthil, today we have a movie called The Alpines that came out in 2021 and directed by Dante Aubin. And I'm going to say right off the bat, this movie, they were able to film this movie in 23 weeks on a budget of about $625,000 to do this movie. And I loved it. I'm sorry. It was one of those films that it actually questions whether or not this is a horror film or a psychological thriller film, right? But with everything going on in the world today and the feeling of isolation that people have, I thought this movie was just stand out for the message it sent and the ending, which was totally unexpected to me.
The ending kind of caught me off guard too. It started off kind of slow. And I was actually looking at this 15 minutes in, and I saw there was no horror of any kind. 20 minutes in, there was still no horror of any kind. So I didn't really, fully understand what was going on initially at first. But the ending definitely caught me off guard as well. You said one of the things you liked about it is the message, the meaning of the movie. What did you take out of it?
Well, so for me, it's this isolation, right? Where we ignore other people. And especially lately, I just saw a comic that said, I'm missing my friends. So of course I don't call any of them. We have a tendency in this day and age that, we don't connect anymore on a human level. And this film was all about that connection, right? It was all about missing that connection and somebody reaching out to you and you not reaching back. And it made me stop and think, how many times has somebody reached out to me, either through a text message or through Teams, and said, hey, how you doing? I had every intention of reaching back out to them, and I just lose track during the day. And then they're down 26 text messages down. So I forgot that they text messaged me, or on Teams, I forgot that they messaged. And I thought this film really hit that we have a tendency to just go, oh, well, if they really need us, they'll get back with us. Maybe they won't.
It's definitely from that perspective, especially the way the movie evolved, definitely made me think twice. I will say that it's a conversation I've had with myself, and my wife, and my friends, in that, I'm guilty of the same. I'm not in touch with people as much as I know I should be.
Yep.
And sometimes even I'm thinking, gosh, I text people a lot. I need to get and have a more meaningful conversation with them than just having a text conversation. Although, when I first was going through this, I had a hard time initially trying to figure out where this movie was going. There's a key point where they kind of show you what the what characters are seeing on the wall, but they don't show us what's actually going on. My first reaction when I saw the cast was, I thought, oh, this is the token black guy. He's going to die first.
Yeah.
I won't let the audience know whether that actually ended up happening. And then the other element about it that was kind of odd to me is that basically everybody's been having sex with everybody. They're people that have known each other since college, and the 7 people that have literally been having sex with each other. The other interesting thing, I don't know if you picked up or not, from the perspective of the 7, did you see anything meaningful about the fact that they picked 7 people?
Well,
7 deadly sins.
Right. That's what I was about to say, right? It's the set, gluttony, lust, all of that. It was a true play on the 7 deadly sins. And I actually thought they did a damn good job of very quietly just under playing up to those 7 deadly sins. The other thing, Senthil, that I thought they did really well was I thought that the characters were well picked, right? So I think all of them portrayed who they were supposed to be pretty damn well, right? I thought the settings were really well done too. I mean, it does take place. It's kind of a, let's call it not a single room, but it's a multi-room in a house setting, and there is a little bit of outdoor. But I thought that they did that well too.
Yeah, and it reminded me of another movie that we've seen with Michael Douglas.
The game was great. No, the game was, I love the game.
And this reminded me very much of the game, but it took a slightly different turn from the way the direction that the game went. And so that was a bit unexpected as well. I didn't expect it to go in the direction. So they did a good job from a story perspective of doing a slow build up and then coming on and hitting it sideways with an unexpected angle.
But that's the thing, Cynthia, that I loved about this. And those of you who decide you're going to watch this, and I would highly recommend if you have a moment to watch it, right? It's about an hour and 15 minutes long. It's worth a watch. And here's the thing, Cynthia, it was a slow burn. It was a wonderfully slow buildup. You kind of go, God, is this going to go anywhere? But once it starts to go, it really starts to go.
It does. I would say that I correctly predicted who or whom was behind all of it. However, I didn't expect the particular actions and reactions that person took. That was definitely unexpected for me.
So here's the thing. I knew who it was like 15 minutes into this film, probably even 5 minutes into this film. Thing was, I had zero idea it was going to go the way that it went. And frankly, it was heartbreaking. The ending of this film is heartbreaking.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I will warn our audience that, this may have some trigger moments for some of our audience because of the fact that there's a character is dealing with loneliness and abandonment and the reactions that they experience as a result. The very ending, there's almost a Twilight Zone like voiceover that comes on and really talks about the 7 deadly sins. Did you find that to be a little heavy-handed, almost of a religious overtones?
Yeah, so I kind of wrote that off. I think if you have to go in and explain that, you've missed the mark. And as a director, you need to be able to look at that and go, if I have to go in and explain to you what my film was, then either my tone wasn't correctly, set. Personally, myself, I caught the 7 deadly sins as this movie was moving forward, and especially at the end, which is unexpected. And then the ending is truly unexpected, right? It's heartless. I mean, it's a heartless ending that leaves you feeling empty inside. And so I thought you're right. It felt heavy-handed that they had to explain that.
I think there's also probably going to be really strong reactions to the ultimate culprit and the motivations behind the culprit, as well as his or her reasoning for why they did what they did.
Yes.
I think we're going to see some fairly divided members of the audience, and some people don't understand, and other people that are probably going to get really irritated and angry that this person took the actions that they did. But overall, I would definitely recommend it. I think it was a little bit different. You have to have a little patience in this movie. I think I wrote it down. The first time we see any hint of any real blood or gore of traditional horror was an hour and 16 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
Like we see it. So you have to have a little patience and let the characters and the story build, because it all comes to a head. And the reason why you hear all this backstory behind each of the characters becomes evident in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, Senthil, and that's exactly what I would say is if you're going to pick this up and think that there's tons of gore, there is not. If you're thinking there's going to be some wild guy with a chainsaw, there is not. This is that beautiful, tense build-up kind of film that is building you from the beginning right up to an ending that you don't expect, and they do it really well. I was just impressed with the director on this.
Any final thoughts, Scott?
No, other than if you have a few, sit down and watch it. I think it opens up your mind. It certainly made me go, wow, I should contact people more often for sure. Simple. Until next time, I'll see you later.